The AMX M4 MLE54 is currently one of the best all-round Tier 10 heavies in the game. It features mobility, gun depression, armor, a nice Alpha 480, even tungsten shells, and a ridiculous amount of reverse at 20 kilometers per hour. It literally has everything going for it that you would want on a frontline heavy. But to be fair, it's also pretty well balanced. It's an incredibly large tank, which means it's very easy to rip apart out in the open, and it's not the most mobile when it comes to traverse speed, so once you get it caught out in the open, people can track you, clip you, and completely demolish you. But I definitely do think it was in need of a rebalance. What I would have done to the tank very easily is either nerf its traverse speed to about 15 kilometers per hour. That would very easily make it a lot more balanced, because once you over-aggress, it's a lot harder to get back into cover. But the other way to very easily balance the tank is just remove tungsten and sandbags. That would very easily make the tank a lot more balanced. It would still be strong, have the same armor, mobility, and it would be fine. Instead, Wargaming has gone for the other route of completely nerfing it to a point where the majority of players aren't going to be using it. And the most despicable part about this is Wargaming sold the tank literally just a month before the balance changes were released for this vehicle. Like, really? Really, Wargaming. I'm all for rebalancing collectors. We have seen that the Stritz Von K is going to be losing DPM and armor, but it's going to be gaining accuracy on the move and combat stabilization. That's fine with me, because the tank's still going to have 3,300 DPM, it's going to be gaining the one thing that it suffered on, which was accuracy on the move, and it doesn't deserve that much turn armor, and it's also losing super speed boost, which is fine with me. It's still going to be mobile, it's still going to feature DPM, it'll still have turn armor, and now it's going to be more accurate. So Wargaming has actually made the tank more enjoyable for probably me to drive, which is actually a win. But the AMX M4 is a good example of, instead of balancing the problems with the vehicle, Wargaming is just flat out nerfing it to the ground, and we're going to be going over these changes right now. So first of all, reactive is being replaced with tungsten. That's fine. I don't necessarily think any tank should be balanced around consumables, so that's okay. Terrain, crossing capacity, engine power, and hull traverse speed are improved, so the tank's going to be accelerating faster, turning faster, and driving faster on all different types of terrain. That's a buff. Unfortunately, those are the only buffs the vehicle's getting. For example, reload time is being reduced by 1.34 seconds. However, the alpha is also being reduced by 30 damage per shot. So while the vehicle is gaining about 100 damage per minute, it's also losing the main thing that it's always been known for, which is the 480 DPS. It's really going to be lame now that it's only at 450. Now, to be fair, that is still going to hit hard, and gaining damage per minute isn't the end of the world. I wouldn't be all too bummed out if this was the only changes occurring. The problem is frontal armor thickness is being reduced. Armor penetration is being reduced. And the premium shells are now going to be heat. And yes, you heard that right. Why? I don't know. Wargaming is legitimately stupid. And that's the nicest way to word it. Right now, the AMX M4 features premium AP, which is fairly well balanced. It doesn't have a lot of pen at only 326 millimeters, but it's enough to cut through most frontal armor, because it has AP and shell normalization. However, next update, those rounds are going to now be heat. And the problem is, it's going to have 310 millimeters of base heat penetration. Can we think of other vehicles that are going to have base heat pen of 310? Oh yeah, that's right. The Object 260, a Soviet Tier 10 collector heavy. A vehicle that has 340-ish millimeters of pen when you're running calibrated shells. That is dookie, and you can barely even penetrate the majority of vehicles in front of you. I should also point out it's actually more than 310, it's 312. You'll have about 340 millimeters of heat pen with the AMX M4 if they leave it at 310 heat, which is not going to be enough to cut through the Type 71, the IS-7 on most angles, or really any heavy tank frontally easily, which is going to suck, because now you're going to be having worse frontal armor, and they're going to be penning you a lot easier. So I'm really disappointed here. I'm so sad that Wargaming's literally taking away one of the major things the AMX M4 had, which was the premium being AP ammunition. I'm so mad. And by the way, I should also point out that Wargaming has stated that they're going to be nerfing the penetration. It says right here, armor penetration is going to be decreased. So they might even be nerfing the pen even more. It might be 300 millimeters of heat pen on the tank, for all I know. I am praying that they do not touch the heat pen past what it is already, but even at the point that it currently is, it's already going to be pretty dookie, and it's really disappointing to see what Wargaming is doing here. It's actually just so sad to see what they're doing here. So, yeah, that's the AMX M4, ladies and gentlemen. A vehicle that currently is incredible, and next update is going to be not nearly as incredible. Now, don't get me wrong. I still think it's going to be a strong vehicle. Getting more mobility and getting no nerfs to its overall reverse speed and turret armor is still going to make the tank strong. It's going to have more DPM, and the gun depression is still going to stay the same. So playing hull down, the vehicle is still going to be incredible. I'm not saying that this tank is going to be bad, but what I am saying is Wargaming is taking away most of the enjoyable aspects this vehicle currently has, and because of that, not a lot of people are actually going to end up driving this tank. So now that we've gone over all these changes, let's do a battle in the AMX M4 in its current state and see how it's going to compare in the next update when the vehicle obviously and ultimately gets changed for the worse, in at least my opinion. So up against us, we have some decent opponents. Yeah, this is probably going to be a cringe battle, I'm not going to lie. They've got two very decent players. Heavy-wise, they have an E75 50 TP and a Kron. Okay, well, we have an Object 752 and an E3. We also have a lot of mobility, so I guess the good thing is we do have a lot of mediums on our team. Hopefully they can do a decent job over there, because I'm going to be on C side trying to get this side helped. So they also have an E4. I just noticed that. Crap. I hate fighting E4s. They basically just negate armor, and the fact that they've buffed the hit points so much on the thing, and they've buffed the armor so much on the E4, it's just so incredibly unfun to fight the tank at this point in the game. But we'll see. We'll see what I can do. There is the enemy 50 TP. Maybe we can get a nice lucky hatch onto his vehicle. I doubt it. Or maybe we will. Okay, well, that's a incredibly lucky shot. What's unlucky is the fact that we have an Object 752 with no camo. And, yeah, that's not looking very good for us. I'm leaving. This is a waste of my time over here. I don't even... Oh, I'm just screwed, aren't I? Alright, well, let's see if we can get a shell into the E4. We were able to get a very, very lucky shot. Unfortunately, my driving was trash, but it wouldn't have mattered. Either way, we'd have to take a shell from that guy to get out of here. What I'm kind of hoping right now is that... Well, actually, if our E3 holds that, we might be okay. The E4's over there. We got the Kron off to the side. Unfortunately... my shell went low, which obviously is not very helpful. We got the Progetto off to the side, who is definitely a big threat, but kind of hoping right now that we can get some decent shots out. We got the Kron in the back again. Let's aim. There you go. Nice 474 slap. You'll notice I haven't used my tungsten yet, and that is because I'm waiting for the perfect time to use it, which it appears that possibly on this 50 TP might just be that time. So let's plop it on now, and there you go. A nice 521 damage tap right there. A great example of just the alpha on this vehicle being so absolutely nasty. Unfortunately, our team is not doing great, is the best way to really word it. We got the Kron in the back. Thankfully, we were able to get a pretty nice slap into that Kron. But yeah, our team's not doing well. I'm hoping that they can push this Progetto, and there you go. Get a clear onto him, please. Please. Thank you. Alright, well, that's not the worst result ever. 50 TP pokes us. Not really sure why, though. We got a nice 600 roll. Guess what? You'll never get that next update. But as you can see, the AMX is a fantastic vehicle. The gun works very well. The armor works well as well. Well as well, yes. Good English from Droodles. But seriously, I mean, the tank has just so many great things going for it. The armor, the gun, everything right now on the vehicle is fantastic. And it's just so unfortunate to see next update the majority of these great things are going to be stripped away. So we get a nice shot into the Kron, and we're going to back up now. We're already up to a pretty solid chunk of 3,600 damage in this battle. We're going to try and get another shell maybe into the Kron if we can. Let's see if he keeps going. Bonk, there you go. Another nice slap. This one was for 478. Now, we are probably going to be penned by the entire Kron's clip here, but won't matter, even if he does pen me every single shell here, because of the fact that it's a Kron, and you have the most DPM in that vehicle when you have your clip loaded. It means that he most likely won't out-reload us here. So I'm just going to back up with this great tank's reverse speed, and let's see. Nice, we did out-reload him, which is about what I expected. So there you go. This is the AMX M4. We just did a 4,680 damage game. We were able to use our hit points, our gun, our armor, and do a very solid job up against our opponents. It really is a fantastic heavy. And this is why it's so disappointing to see the changes that are going to be occurring to the tank. But hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you guys think about these changes, and yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.